I don't know if it'll translate. What a beautiful sunrise. I'm going to call this Let's Get Real. Inside the church, research, they say that 70% of men, close to 70%, struggle with pornography. Even close up 38% of pastors dabble in pornography. And yet if you ask, how you doing, brother, to someone at your church, the majority of people would say, I'm blessed. There's no transparency. There's no authenticity. There's no realness. And why I think that is because the power of the gospel, we are not allowing that to seed down in our heart and transform our lives. So we don't need something other than the gospel. We need it to get deeper and deeper into us. When we understand how much God loves us and desires the absolute best for our life, that we've been settling for something less, that's when, man, lives can be transformed. The beauty of the gospel coming in and someone understanding for the first time that God truly loves them and wants them to be able to walk in freedom, and they've been settling for something less. That's when the life can be changed. But we have to lay down that self-centered, self-seeking life and experience the life that God has for us. It's beautiful when it happens. But the reason why we aren't transparent is because we never come to the end of ourselves. So we're in fear of what other people think, you know. But the reality of it is there's something so much more when you just say, God help me, you know, and then you submit your life to God, and then the beauty of what happens in that life. Because it's not about asking Jesus into our heart. It's about asking him to transform the life that we are living in self to a life centered in him. Then all of a sudden you have compassion for others. You're able to love unconditionally. There's so much beauty in that. 2 Timothy 3 said that in the last days, people will be lovers of themselves, boastful, proud, you know, all on and on. And then it says that we will settle for a form of godliness. And that's where we are. You know, we settle for this form of godliness. But oh my gosh, when somebody truly gets it and they're overwhelmed by the love of God, their life is never the same. 6.5 years ago that happened for me, and it wasn't in a church service. It was in a bathroom mirror when I was at the end of myself and just cried out, God help me, and said, I'm gonna surrender my life to you, God. I don't know what this is gonna look like. And it's been beautiful. I mean, I've gone through suffering, I've gone through things in my life since then, but I've been free of me, and that makes me free of you, and then I'm able to love you unconditionally. That's from Todd White. It's beautiful. But so that's the idea, is so if you get to this place of you're able to be completely transparent and real and honest with your struggles, that's what the church should be. But we settled for something far less, you know, and I'm excited about something coming up, about a place where we can, especially men, can just come and be themselves and root themselves in the love of God, understanding who they are and breaking down the idols in their life, and then they're able to be free for the first time. And then what happens out of that is that man's family can be restored to its fullness. They could be the man, they could be the father, they could be the husband, they can be the employee, they can be the employer. Their lives will be set free because they have the power. They have the power of God within them. And we settle for something so far less than what he intended it to be as ambassadors, as children of God. And yet we settle for going to a service every Sunday, hearing a message, and getting inspired, but our life never being transformed. It's about our lives. We're supposed to be being transformed back into the image that God created. And that's the value he saw. He died on the cross for us because of our sin, but he wanted to restore the value of what he created, and that's what he does. Anyway, God bless y'all.